Okay, there we go. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you, to me, to you, to everyone. Happy Monday. Good morning. Grace Simon here with the New Doors Mentorship and Coaching, bringing you morning momentum. Hope you had a great weekend, everyone. Who had a great weekend out there? I certainly did. Was with a group of people that I get mentored by and share with, and doing life ministry. And yeah, we pray every morning. We get up early every morning to pray for the whole entire world. And I hadn't actually met a lot of these people in person, but I'm with them every single morning. So it was fun to be able to get together, to meet them face to face, and to see them and greet them. So I hope whatever you did was interesting and exciting and new, and you're ready to go for your week ahead. Growth doesn't just happen, guys. It doesn't just happen. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Momentum. If we want to live a fulfilled life, we want to go further in life, in business and relationships and whatever it is that you want for your life. If you want to go further, you have to be intentional about it. It doesn't just happen. Life doesn't just happen to you unless you allow life to happen to you. But you really do have a choice, and that choice is intentionality. And we talked about that last week, right? About being very intentional about why you're doing what you're doing, who you're doing it for, and why does that matter. But there's some things that need to get out of the way in order to get that clarity of purpose. And this roadmap of morning momentum is really to help us get that clarity. And there's a program that I've developed that I'm really excited about, and it's called exactly that. It's called Clarity to Purpose. And I work with people one-on-one and in mastermind settings, which is so powerful because that's really where the power happens, is being in a group setting around people from different walks of life, different experiences, and sharing with one another so that you can really learn and gain wisdom. We really learn and gain wisdom from the people that we surround ourselves with. And so the people that I surrounded myself with this past weekend are people that I spend time every single day, but I haven't actually seen them face to face, but I hear them. I'm on Zoom, but we don't have our videos on because it's early in the morning and none of us want to see each other that early in the morning. But getting to know them by their voice and their experiences and the sharing that they bring every single morning, and then to meet them face to face, and to hug them and to sit down and break bread and to eat with them is another experience. But it really comes into that placement of being willing, being open, to be intentional about your life, and knowing that growth is not going to just happen. Life doesn't just happen to me. It will just happen to me if I just let my life be like that. But that's not the best way. That is a way. And if you choose to do that, then, and that's the majority of people, they just let life happen and they grow through the happenstance. Or may I suggest that you live a life of intentionality? And that's where we get the clarity of our life, is why are we doing what we're doing? Who are we doing for? And why does it matter? When I first got into, when I, well, for much of my life, I'm a people pleaser. I want to do what's best for everybody else and be that middle child of, pleasing everybody and not speaking up, not saying things. And then you end up kind of going here and there. And I've had to really grow from that. And how I grow from that is learning the clarity and the intentionality of my life. What was I created for? What is in me? What has been given to me that is very different from anybody else? It's unique to myself. And for you, you can't you don't get to choose who your parents are, where you were born, what color your skin is, what happened to you as a young child. You don't get to choose those things. Those are the things in your life that you do not get to choose. But everything else, there's a decision that gets to be made about yourself and what it is that you believe that's unique, that's different, that you have to offer, that you want to grow and develop in. And I remember when I came to that clarity in the understanding of mentoring has been my life all along. It's been a natural process of my life, but it's actually what I meant to do. It's really the calling of my life, and I have just the wonderful opportunity to walk alongside leaders from all over the world. And what I have noticed that is similar to them, that's similar to myself, is that unless you get real clarity, you're going to be tossed around, like waves tossed around, and you become a divided mind, and you become a divided person. And you're really not going to gain that momentum and that clarity that you really need to have in order to be that leader, to be that influencer, to really walk in what it is that you've called to do. And so when I was, made that decision, or I had come to that, just like that conviction of this is what I, was made for, I leaned in. I leaned in hard, and heavy, and, hiring the mentor, getting myself into the mentorship group, surrounding myself with people that were willing to grow, because not everybody's willing to grow. And to live an intentional life, to come to the understanding that you have to be intentional, you have to be humble, you have to be open and willing to learn from other people. And I'm pretty open. I love to learn from other people. I really believed for a long time that I was willing to learn from other people. But what I've come to understand recently, that I'm willing to learn the things that I'm willing to learn, not necessarily the things that I need to learn. there's a big difference in that. And something that I can share with all of you is that busy is not clarity. Busy is not intentional. Busy is filling up our life and giving a perception that we know where we're going. And so when I first started, with mentoring, I'm doing real estate, mentoring, city council, doing a lot of things in every direction, in so many areas, and so many. Often I'll get people saying, I'm not sure what it is that you do because you do so much. And I hear that quite often. Grace, you do so much. I don't know how you do everything that you do. Like, how do you do that? I'm going, by the grace of God, I am doing all of that. And I really do have the grace of God in my life that I'm able to do all of those things. But what I've come to understand is that I have to be so clear and so organized and so intentional with the day that I have in order to be able to do all those things, and to be able to do all those things well. And that's the challenging course. And I came to this day of awareness, when my head would just get spinning and I didn't know where to go first. You wake up and, you start scrolling, then you start picking up a book and start reading something, then you're putting it down, and then you're going to do something else because you're going in every direction. Have you ever been like that? Am I speaking to myself here? Am I the only one that, often I'm pulled in so many different directions and I look really busy, but I'm not getting the momentum. I'm not getting the activation. I'm not getting the advancement that the development that I really desire to have for what I believe that I'm called into. Have you ever had that? Well, if you're a leader, you're an influencer, and we all are, every single one of us is a leader and influencer in some area of our life. And to be truly effective, we need to get really intentional on why we're doing what we're doing, who we're doing it for, and why does it matter, and organize our life so that we can lean in and we can give our full intention into the day of what it is that we're going after. The idea that growth doesn't happen by accident is very true. Set your intention or else you're going to drift. Set your intention or else you're not going to lead yourself. You're going to allow the world to lead you. And what the world has to offer you is not your very best, because the world doesn't know what you need. The world doesn't know what's inside of you that you have that needs to be developed and grown. You need to surround yourself with other people that are willing to grow. Bring people into your life that you can trust, that you know lives a good and upright life, that has experience, that lives with experiences, willing to share their limps, willing to share their growth, willing to share their scars, willing to take off the Band-Aid and say, see this scar? That happened from this part of my life. I didn't know this at one time in my life, and I had to take a hard journey in order to get there. You want to put yourself with people that are willing to be humble and willing to be open, because if you're going to grow, you have to have a willingness to be open. You have to have a willingness to grow. You have to have a willingness to be, to be willing for people to speak into your life and to see the very best, not to correct you, not to tell you what you're doing wrong, but to see you at your absolute best and cheer you on to being that very big best. And that takes adjustments, but you want to surround yourself with like-minded people that do that for themselves and also will contribute to you. And so I had to get, real clear with the understanding that my scrolling, my picking up here and there, my jumping to this and that was not really going to get me anywhere. In fact, I needed to stay committed to what it was that I was putting myself to the task each and every day. So leaving here this morning, I want you to ask yourself, what's one action today that will move you closer to your best self? And we're not talking about duties. We're not talking about checklists. What is one action today that will move you closer to your best self? And that may be listening to Morning Momentums with me. That may be, reaching out for a one-on-one call, to discover what that clarity is that you need. It may be that you need to move into, a group, a community of people that are willing to share, that want to grow and want to learn. It may be that you need to sign up for a new course. It may be that you need a new job. It may mean that you need a new location. It may mean that you need some new friends. Who's sharpening you and who's stretching you? Once you get that, able to ask that question today, what is one thing that I could do that would take me further, would take me that one step that I need to go in order to grow and to be intentional for what it is that I want to be, do, and have in my life? And just do that. Just do that. For me today, my task is I want to take some time and write out, journal some of the things that I experienced, that I learned through a conversation I had with my ride home with my friends that I spent the weekend with in this conference that I was at. I learned a lot by listening to them, and I learned a lot by me sharing my story with them and what that could have meant in that time, in that moment, and who else needs to hear those stories? Who else needs to share those experiences? Because that is mentorship, that's leadership, that's influence. So my friends, write this down. Where in my life am I drifting instead of being intentional? Let me say that again. Where in my life, where in your life, am I drifting instead of being intentional? Where am I allowing the world to guide me, to toss me, to distract me? Choose one area where you will be deliberate. Again, it might be a phone call you've been avoiding. It may be that habit that you are needing to start. Or maybe there's one relationship that you need to lean into. It could be the very small micro steps that you need to take today that will take you further into what it is that you need to do. So stop avoiding those steps. Get clear on what that step is and then take action. And then at the end of the day, celebrate that you took that action because you're staying committed to that clarity, to that purpose, to that desire of what it is that's in you to be, to, and have, of why you're doing what you're doing, who you're doing for, and why does that matter? Well, friends, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in at whatever time it is that you're listening. You're probably going to listen on the replay more than the live. So whatever time it is, I hope that it brings encouragement to you. If you have someone that you know that could use that encouragement, that needs to be cheered on, that could really use a community, could really use a voice or someone to help them to understand or to grow, share this with them. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, share it with somebody else, let someone else know, invite them into our community, and let's go and grow together. Oh, and don't forget there's free downloads in my Stand store. The link is in my YouTube channel there below that you can link and register and download the material as I'm giving my teachings, as I'm unloading and releasing my programs and my opportunity to get more personal, get more one-on-one with me. You're not going to want to miss it. So register, get the free downloads, and listen in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm here to serve you, serve God, and serve our lives together. Be blessed, be happy, be safe. Have an amazing, incredible day, everyone. Bye for now.